To start camper life, I drove 2,800 miles from Washington, D.C. to Washington State in the winter to pick up our Hiatus pop-up camper. On the way back to D.C., I took time to visit 6 national parks and 3 Utah state parks. In this series, I will share the planning insights and stories from my trip back home. Included were all provisions, including all food and beverages, and everything I purchased on the trip. Excluded were equipment that I purchased for the trip, my national park pass, which I already had, and any car maintenance or car insurance. By far, the biggest expense on my trip was gasoline. On my trip from DC to Seattle, I traveled 2,800 miles, averaging 22 miles per gallon, and paid $2.50 a gallon for a total of $318. On my way back to DC from Seattle going through Utah, I traveled 4,000 miles, averaged 17 miles per gallon, paid approximately $2.50 per gallon for a total of $588. So in total, I paid $906 in gasoline costs to travel 6,800 miles. Prior to my trip, I applied for and received the IHG Premier Rewards Card Club credit card, along with 140,000 points. I used approximately 90,000 of those points to pay for hotel lodging at Holiday Inn Express, and Staybridge for 6 nights. Additionally, I stayed with friends for 5 nights in Sandy, Utah, just outside of Seattle, and in Boulder, Colorado. Finally, after getting the camper, I stayed 2 nights in Zion National Park, 1 night in Bryce Canyon, 1 night in Kodachrome State Park, 1 night in Goblin Valley State Park, 1 night in Dead Horse Point State Park, and then 1 night in Goose Island BLM Land Campground. So I paid no money for 6 nights in hotels, 5 nights with friends, and the cost for campsites for 7 nights was $215 total. With my park pass, there was no cost to the national parks, and with my camping stays at the state parks, there was no entry fee. Of the paid activities I did, there were 3. The most expensive was snowmobiling in Yellowstone. I did the canyon tour. I went cross-country skiing in the Plain Valley ski trails. And I went cross-country skiing at the Solitude Nordic Center in Solitude, Utah. My snowmobiling trip in Yellowstone cost $286. Cross-country skiing in Plain Valley, $22. Cross-country skiing in Solitude cost $17, so total for activities was $325. After driving long days and while traveling, I sought out fast casual type of meals and found quite a few delicious and some sort of healthy offerings. I ended up eating out 10 times. The total cost of my 10 meals was $210. As far as beverages go, I spent the most on beer. This included an assortment of 6 beers that I brought with me, as well as a 6-pack and 2 4-packs that I purchased on the road. Note that I didn't drink all of them myself, but shared with friends too. Also in my provisions was a bottle of scotch, which I paid approximately $35 for. The last beverage of significant cost was coffee. I drank Copper Cow coffee most mornings when I was camping, and on the road I drank 4 cans of Costco cold brew. My breakfasts cost a total of $37 for the duration of the trip. Lunches, which were more varied than just peanut butter and jelly, cost $32 for the trip, and this included my meals during driving most of the time. Finally, dinners included leftovers that I brought from home, as well as an assortment of pre-made meals that just needed to be heated and soups from Costco. So when we add up all the beverages and all the food that were provisioned for the trip, the total is $225 for my 19-day trip. I've listed the miscellaneous expenses: propane tank, tips, tolls, car wash, parking, cat scale, gifts, sticker, and ice. And the total for all of that was $230. Putting it all together, the total cost of the trip was $2,337. Not cheap, but it was an epic trip. Gas comprised about 40% of the expenses and is a sunk cost. Really, there's no way around that. Although I wish I had looked into some of the gas station rewards clubs. Most of the activity cost was around snowmobiling in Yellowstone, and there's no way I would have changed that. So that's also a cost that I couldn't get down. Eating out was something that I needed to do on the road. After long days, I needed to unwind and get a good meal, because otherwise I was eating granola bars and hummus with pita bread for breakfast and lunch during my long days of driving. Miscellaneous expenses were kept fairly low, and there weren't really any surprises there for me. Where I think I did well was with lodging, staying with friends, and being able to use points based on getting a new credit card worked out very well, where my expenses could easily have been hundreds of dollars more expensive. Finally, as far as provisions go, I think I did fairly well with eating, perhaps a little bit too much on the drink. However, it all worked out, and I ended up returning 5 pounds lighter than when I started. So that's it. Please like and subscribe to our channel. We're still trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so that we can monetize, as YouTube is already putting advertisements on our channel. Thanks.